back to another episode of Catching Up with You. I am Amber, your host, and I am very excited for today. I'm excited for all of these episodes. Who am I kidding? But today I'm excited because I will be catching up with my friend Frank Pagliaro, who is also known to me as Francis.
Where's Francis?
I'm looking forward to talking to him. He's another actor, brilliant. I could watch him do Shakespeare all day long. I'm sure he could be watched doing Shakespeare all day long as well. So let's get into it, shall we?
There he is!
No, you swallow that. You swallow it.
I swallowed it.
Good.
It's coming back.
No, you better drink that. You better drink it right now. Lovely.
Oh, God. I love how they teach you how to cry in acting school.
Yeah. Teach you that you're
Are those
for a long time. Huh?
Are those DVDs behind you?
Yeah. Yes.
A shit ton of DVDs.
This is so, you only see 2 panels. There's a whole nother full panel. Also DVDs up top and 4 full DVD cases of varying sizes.
Wow. I would just sit there and admire them for hours.
Don't judge me in my past activities. Whatever you want to call them. They're mine. Fuck you.
Are you in the city right now?
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn still. I'm in Brooklyn in Midpoint, I guess.
Do you mean Midwood or I don't know Midpoint?
Midwood. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty close to my apartment.
Let me. Yes, Midwood.
Yeah. That's the good stuff.
I am in West Midwood.
Wow.
Apparently. I didn't know there was more than one Midwood.
Dude.
Before I moved here, I didn't know there was a Midwood.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there's a kitty. Hi, kitty.
Look who it is. It's Amber.
Oh.
You're a good boy.
He's like,
He's gonna scratch. He's gonna bite my face in about 4 seconds.
Oh my God. Are you gonna really look? Oh gosh.
Yeah, you like that.
Wow, so much. That's the most action I've seen on this show so far. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Oh my God.
Super appreciated.
At least you have the skills to write scenes of your own action though, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, very comforting.
I did it, I've done it once or twice, I've
I've
tried some things, Were they well perceived? Who can say? I don't know.
It only matters if they were well received by you.
All right, so they were shit. So, hello. So even though you're coming up as Aria.
Oh, shit.
It
always happens on this computer. It's so weird.
It's because she's taking over. Slowly but
seriously, she really is.
All right, Francis. So where are you right now?
I am in Hastings-on-Hudson in Westchester. So it's about 40. It's like 40 minutes on the Metro North of the city.
Okay.
I have been here for like 2.5 months.
Okay, so like 3 years. Cool.
Yeah. With my in-laws.
Nice. You're in. Wait.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
No, we're not married.
Huh?
We're not married. I just call them my in-laws.
Oh, okay. Like, are you engaged or like?
Not really. I don't know how this stuff works. We've kind of been talking about it a little bit, but nothing like formal has happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're your like common law in-laws.
Yeah, my common law in-law law. Bob
Blah 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 blah.
You don't need double talk. You need blah, blah, blah.
Hey, this cat is eating this plant. I have to kick him out of here.
Aw.
Clarkson, we've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
And
But you get to get fresh air and stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Take the dog for a walk, go out in the backyard,
Okay.
and like walk by the Hudson River. So that's a pretty great privilege.
Lovely. See,
Yeah.
that's nice. I got a window.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I open it like this much because there's no screen in it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
flying in.
that's where I'm
I
at.
I have definitely felt, in watching all of the protests in the city, I have definitely felt some guilt about like, I should be there, like
Yeah.
I should be another body. I should be, ideally like put my body between police and people of color. That's the best thing I could be doing right now. And so I have felt like really at times like really kind of shitty about not being there.
Well, I mean, you can't predict the future, and you were gone well before any of this took place. So it's hard to be like, ugh, if only you didn't know it was going to happen, The next best thing is just informing people and talking to your own folks and letting them know, like, shit's not tolerated, not going down.
Dude,
and then
was I talking?
Throw money.
I was talking to my people last night. Holy shit! We had like my mom came. My grandmother lives pretty close to here, so my mom went to see. My grandma's been like totally quarantined because she's 92.
Oh man!
So we had like a socially distant cookout at my uncle's house, and
what does that look like?
Dude, the more you drink, the less distance there is. And I was like up on my horse about like race and class in America, and nobody wanted to hear it, but I didn't give a shit. I was just like laying it down, and my family thinks I'm crazy.
Telephone call, that's communication with the outside world. Doctor's discretion. Hey.
My family thinks I'm
Well, of course. I mean, sometimes you speak logically and they're like, you're not making sense. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just no. La, 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 la. But like what I imagine in my mind is, everybody in their corners in the backyard and the grill in the middle. And then everybody's got their respective alcohol choice. Yeah. And the more they drink, it's like you get levels to when you can get to the barbecue.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. Yep. You gotta have 3 drinks to get past the first level.
Yeah. And then of course with that, then you start talking about racial inequality, and then it's like it becomes a fight to the death, and then the last person standing gets a steak off of the barbecue.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
slash their family member with it.
That's right.
Fight. Yeah.
We eat it using our dead family members as plates.
Yes.
Eat it off of we stack all the dead family members on top of each other, and we sit on some of the other ones, and then we just
nice. Yes.
It's pretty sick.
I have faith in you. You're still standing. Look at you. Keep going. Fight the good fight, man.
This fucking country is so broken.
Yes. But that is why we're here catching up, because I want to spread some good feelings for once in the 2020. Because there hasn't been too many of them.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Talk about, have you been doing any acting since you've been quarantined?
Not too much. I was I was doing a show at Stella, actually. Mike asked me to job in for one of the daytime shows.
Right.
And this, the sort of lockdown happened right in the middle of the rehearsal process.
Yeah.
So
all those got shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did a bunch of Zoom rehearsals.
Okay.
Which I actually thought was really interesting, because our first impulse as actors, I think, was to be like, oh, this sucks. This is shit. Zoom is terrible. We can't do anything over Zoom. But our director was encouraging us to think about the things that are possible with this that are not possible on stage.
Yeah.
And an example of one part was there's this couple I was in Rumors, in Neil Simon's Rumors, and there's this couple in it who, it's 3 couples, and they're the sort of main characters, and 2 of them are always they're like that couple that's too cute with each other, they're calling each other darling and chicken and all these weird little pet names, and they're kissing, and so on stage when they kiss, it's kind of that's gross. But when they did it over Zoom, they would be both of them, and so it was disgusting and so much funnier because of that. So it's okay, this is something that Zoom can do that the stage cannot do. So that was an interesting kind of thing to consider and explore. I did submit for some voiceover stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I had signed up for a voiceover class, again, before the lockdown. And so then this was something I was interested in kind of pursuing, but obviously everything kind of shut down. And so I wasn't able to do the class. And I just felt for a while I was feeling guilty, I should have brought my microphone. I'm missing my opportunities. But I don't know enough about voiceover right now to be really passionate about it and missing out on it. So it's just whatever, man. So I've been writing a decent amount. Okay. Not so much performing, but I've been working on a new script, a new play, and also on another script that I had been working on for a couple of years. The Team Theater, our friends in Astoria, the Stella grads who run a company in Astoria, they are sponsoring a reading of my play next Saturday over Zoom.
Awesome.
So I'm not inviting a ton of people, but if you want the link, I can send it to you if you wanted to listen in. I
will not be posting that, by the way, because we don't want any interruptions in our shits. So
no, forget that.
Oh my god, I have heard some fucking stories though. Holy moly! Wow, just penises sprayed across the screen. People, it's terrible hackers just coming in. It's been either super racist or super vulgar, and there's just no in between. It's just so
human nature is a garbage fire.
So interesting. I'm
what do you get out of that, right? Showing your penis to somebody on Zoom, there's no motivation other than just being a piece of shit.
Yeah, and no one on this God-given earth wants to see a flaccid penis on their screen.
That's funny that you say that. I remember in high school, my friends and I, there was this constant debate amongst the boys. I went to a Catholic high school that was there was a lot of homophobia. But there was this constant debate about, okay, if you walked into the locker room and your buddy was in there naked and you saw his dick, would you rather it be flaccid or hard? And we were pretty evenly divided, but if you said hard, then everyone was oh, gay. Yeah. But if you said flaccid, that clearly you would rather see it hard, because flaccid is disgusting. I mean, hard is also gross, but at least I don't know, it's greeting me when I come in the room. It's standing at attention. It's this flaccid elephant proboscis. fucking flopping around. It's horrible.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, I just think it's just more appealing to one's eye to see at least a simi. Like, if you could just rock a simi and
Well,
not,
Gumby.
just something that is not just, nobody wants that.
Yeah, just so I know that I'm here.
It's like you want to be presentable when you're showing off. Like, just, you're gonna show it. Don't make us regret that and have nightmares about it later. Just
So that's what high school boys at Catholic boarding schools debate about.
Yeah, it sounds riveting. Terrible. I think writing is really a equally great outlet to just kind of get that out on paper outside of you, and also just, as an actor, you see writing in a different way. You look at it as an actor when you're writing, and you're like, is this actionable? Is this a clear objective for this person? Do they have an interesting arc? Are there layers to this? So you can really look at writing in that different way. And you've also directed as well. And that's been, I thought it was really great. It was one of my favorites, especially in that whole situation.
I'm glad. That was really fun. That was, and I had proposed another play to the team to direct, and before all of this happened, as with everything, but I had made a proposal to them to direct Speech and Debate by Stephen Karam.
Okay, cool.
And I don't know if you know that play, if you've ever read it or seen it, but it was, and I'm not sure if you saw The Humans at Stella.
Yes.
But that's the same playwright.
Yeah.
So I really like his work, and so Speech and Debate is about these kids who are basically like trying to expose a pedophile teacher in their school, and it's fantastic writing, and also kind of it had a personal appeal to me. Because I had I actually taught at my own boarding school after I graduated from college. I went and I taught there, and I kind of connected with this teacher that I had who was like very influential to me as a kid. And he was like giving me a lot of pointers about teaching. We were teaching the same class. So I would go to him if I didn't understand something, or if I wanted an idea for like how to run a class. And we kind of, we became friends. And at the end of the year, he was forced to resign because the school discovered that he had been having sex with a student. So that was like really a bad time. But so it made this story feel a little more personal to me, I guess.
Right. So like I like felt it was going there, but I was hoping you'd be like, and then another teacher was discovered.
And then another, nope.
It was that guy.
Yeah.
My guy, and he balls.
Yeah. So, and it was one of those situations where, I mean, you've probably had this happen to you, where like someone is revealed to have been doing something shitty, and while the revelation is like shocking at first, you start to put all the pieces together.
Go back, and you're like,
oh, now all this stuff makes way more sense.
Oh. No.
Yeah, and then you start to feel bad. Like, why didn't I see this? And what does this mean about me that I like this person so much? And
that's the thing about people like that, is just manipulation is key, So it's like you can't be out there attacking or molesting everybody, because then everybody would know.
Dude, my hairs are like, the hairs on my legs are like standing on end talking about this guy right now. Like, it's horrible.
Yeah,
But directing, I think directing is a really excellent use of my skill set, honestly. Like, I have a good liberal arts education, so I'm able to really I'm able to read scripts well, and I'm able to identify ideas, and I think that then my acting training allows me to talk with actors about those ideas in ways that are not just like philosophy and politics and blah, 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 but at like, here's how are we going to let you feel this?
Right.
And I really enjoyed that kind of work. You know, I thought that I wouldn't, because like the glory of the stage is like the greatest. That's the drug. I mean, it's such a high.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
And so to not be on stage, I felt like, oh, I would want to like be on stage. I would not want to watch other people act. But like, that was silly of me to think that, because I like watching plays and I like having control. I like being in charge. I like talking. And that's a lot of what directors do.
That's exactly what directors do.
Have you ever directed anything? I mean, you've directed like film stuff, right?
Yeah. I've directed 2 short films now. Yeah.
And have you been writing a lot too?
Yeah, actually. I'm working on my second act of a feature film for
Nice.
Yeah, it's brutal. But I'm working through Sundance Collab. It's a course through them.
Okay.
And so it makes me write.
Yes. Yeah.
It forces me to put the shit out, because otherwise it's just like
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing that strikes me as so hard about writing for the screen, actually, which I've never done, is how formulaic it actually has to be.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a real kind of template that most every movie follows in the writing. And I guess that can be freeing, right? Those boundaries actually like free you to no.
No, I hate it. But they do say, like, if you can get to a place where you know those rules front and back, then you can bend them to a place where it's like, you know, yes, this is technically the midpoint, but it doesn't fit this mold of what you imagine it's supposed to be. And so I aspire to that one day. So yeah.
It kind of reminds me of this quote from Ira Glass that Ari was reading to me the other day, about like young or early career artists in whatever field. And he basically says, like, you all get into the arts because you have great taste. Like, that's why people become artists, because they're interested in art. Their taste in art is sophisticated or cultured or, you know, interesting, whatever. And when you're first starting out, he said, I wish somebody had told me this, and nobody did. When you're first starting out, that feeling that you get, maybe you felt this, I have definitely felt it in my writing and in my acting, that feeling that you get when you're in it of like, this isn't good. Like, this isn't, I know I'm doing everything right, but like, it's just not clicking together. Yeah. And he said, this is because you have great taste, but you don't have the practice.
Yeah.
So you have to just continue on with this garbage that you're producing. Yeah. Because that's the only way that your skill will match your taste. Your taste is already there. It's awesome. And that's why you're feeling so badly about your own work. So instead of feeling badly about the work, feel good about your own sense of what is good and what is bad. And trust, like, yeah, okay, if I feel it's not great right now, it probably isn't. But that also means that somewhere in myself, I know what it will mean for it to be good. And I think you've probably experienced those moments too. And they can be few and far between, but like when you're doing a scene where you're doing a monologue and you're just like,
few. It's a lot.
It's never, yeah. Hey, that is a lie, because I saw it happen. I mean, the thing that springs to mind is that scene you did from the August Wilson play in Andrew's class, I think.
Yep, that was Andrew's class.
I mean, you were in it. I really thought from the audience, from my perspective, like that was you. You were that character, and she was you, and there was no separation, and it was really it was a sacred experience to watch you go through that, because it was so beautiful and moving for me. You know, because you see actors, you see actors like cry on stage or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between watching somebody else experience emotion and experiencing emotion alongside that person.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
That formula, that's not, you can't reduce that to any kind of mathematical equation. Like,
Yeah.
it's totally ineffable, but when you see it, you don't even like know it. You don't recognize it. You feel it here in your gut, and you're like, oh. And you know, then as an actor, what's so frustrating is like the minute you say, oh my God, I'm doing great, I'm in it. You're not in it.
You're gone.
Motherfucker!
Yeah.
The fact that you thought that means that you're already out of it.
Yep.
Which is so fucking maddening. But I mean, that's why we keep chasing it, I guess.
Right. The ever loving high. Oh, need that. Yeah. No, I will say that definitely rings true. Especially for earlier stuff that I've either acted in or directed, even, you know, just writing stuff. It's like, I have this idea. I know what I want it to look like. I know I see it from beginning to end, and then but that one scene, it just, I don't know. Like, you're right. I wasn't thinking about it. I was just, you know, at some point towards the beginning of when we started that scene, it just, and I was gone, and now it's just like, oh shit. And it was super scary, but it was like, we're just gonna ride this train and see where the fuck it goes, because there's
what was that, 7 guitars?
That one was, yeah.
I gotta read some August Wilson. I don't know his plays hardly at all, and I mean, just the work that I saw you do on it made me, you know, just thinking about it now, like I gotta read that shit, right? Because obviously you did an amazing amount of work, and you brought yourself to it, but you know, it's his text that you were channeling.
I've read, you know, 7 Guitars, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. He captures a moment in time for Black people that is just like, yeah, wow. And there's such a beautiful rhythm to his writing. And you know, the downside of that is that you can get caught up in that rhythm and stuck in it, because it's so poetic and so beautiful that you forget these are humans, these are real people. They have you know, all these levels. But yeah, I would definitely recommend diving into that work and reading some of it, because it's kind of amazing. So
Yeah.
All right, so questions. So if you haven't caught on, we met at school at the Stellar Adler Studio of Acting. It's amazing.
What a time to be alive that was. Hello?
Yeah. That was
a crazy time, man.
Yeah, it was yeah.
When we would get to the end of scene study class with Andrew, or even Ian, because it took me a long time to figure this shit out, and they would be like, so how'd that go? I would always be like, I don't know. You tell me how it went. You're sitting there. But that was a really good lesson for me to learn, that you need to be in tune enough with your own self to realize when it's going well, when it's not going well, how to adjust if it's not going well, while still staying committed to the moment and to your partner. But at the time, I was like, how the fuck do you think I know how it went? How do you think I know how it went? And I was taking a shower the other day, and I was like, man, if I could go back to school, like if I were back at Stella, like how much differently I would try to. Not that I would work harder, like that's not really what I actually would not. yeah, I would not work harder because working hard was what was getting in my way so often.
Yeah.
It was
What a time.
fun. We had a good time.
Yes.
Bad times too, but
Yeah, but
we
I
had
think
fun.
I would definitely say I would do it all over again, for sure.
I think it is really, a mark of. It might honestly have to do with the studio's history of social activism and its the commitment of so many of its alums to justice, whether it be racial justice or economic justice.
Yeah.
That it's immoral to charge somebody $40K a year or $60K a year for an acting degree.
Yeah.
Not that it isn't valuable, but
it's
valuable.
still
It's so far beyond this economic sphere that
For sure.
So that's something that I really admire about the studio, among other things.
Yeah. If we were stuck in quarantine together, what is the most fun thing that we would get on to? Like, what would we do?
Well, I was
Besides
thinking
making
about
you
this.
fake throw up.
I think it was related to you had a question on your list about what I've been watching recently.
Yeah.
And we have been watching The Sopranos. And I don't know if you've seen The Sopranos, but
I've seen chunks of episodes. I've never watched the full season, but I'll get into it. I'll watch 3 or 4 episodes, and then I don't know, fuck off somewhere. I don't know.
I think that's what you and I would get into, because it's hilarious, but like in a very dark and twisted way. So I think you would appreciate that. It's amazing acting and writing.
Oh, you know what I would make us do then? I would make.
I'm terrified.
I would write skits based off of characters of The Sopranos, and then we would make TikTok videos.
Oh, that's pretty great. That would be pretty fun.
That's what we would do.
Oh, I've been doing a lot of yoga. I don't know if you're a yoga person, but I have been not. Last week I kind of fell off, but yesterday I just started. I just did a class again yesterday, and it was really incredible how quickly I felt like I was like, it was hot yesterday, and I was doing like a power yoga class because I'm manly. But so within like 7 minutes, I am drenched in sweat, and I'm like contorted, twisted around, and in my head, I'm like, I am so hot and sweaty. I'm gonna fall. My balance is terrible, and I feel great. I feel alive. I feel like it really was. I think when you kind of build that physical practice and then you go away from it for a few days, you kind of forget. So then like when you go back to it, it's like so eye-opening and like, oh, there's a totally different way of experiencing the world.
Yeah.
That is so much more embodied. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people get impatient with the yin yoga practice, and I do too. So maybe if I tried to show it to you, you'd be like, Frank, why don't you go fuck yourself and die? But you might say that anyway.
Because I can't. Sorry, I'm gonna go. Can't. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. But so I don't know if that answered the question of what would we get into, but I would try to get you into that.
You know what? And I probably at this point I would do it. More than
right. Try anything at this point.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it, why not? Just why not? I did a yoga class, not yesterday, the day before, and it was the first one I'd done since school. And I was like, everything was super tight and bound, but it was also freeing because it was like, I recognize that I am tight. I recognize these places where it hurts and this is uncomfortable, but part of it's my own damn fault. And also it's like, I can't really dwell on the fact that I didn't do this for so long. I can only start from this moment here. It's just a slow, steady incline into more physical activity now that it's, I don't know if it's safer, but it's more comfortable to be able to go outside.
Yeah.
And do a little more. And where I'm at right now, it's a pretty chill neighborhood. There's not a lot going on.
Yeah, Midwood's pretty like residential, right?
Yeah. So.
And there are a lot of that's a big Hasidic Jewish community, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Which actually, it was interesting because their community was hit really hard at the start of the pandemic in New York because they didn't want to stop gathering.
Yeah.
And it was like, you guys, stop it. Just
Yeah. I remember reading about that.
respect you and your religion, but also
I mean, yeah, these are really, really complicated questions, obviously.
like you gotta trust that it's gonna be okay. You will be able to gather again, you will be able to celebrate again, but you also want to make sure that you're here to do so. It's like the same thing with those churches.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the Christian churches in the South. It's like
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you draw that parallel, and I hadn't even thought about it, but it makes sense in my head, you know, both for an Orthodox Jewish community and for a predominantly Black church in the South. These are two groups that have been systematically terrorized by the state for hundreds of years. So when the state comes and says, hey, we want you to be safe, we want you to be alive so you can work, so don't worship now so you can be alive to worship later. They don't believe you. They don't believe that you want them alive.
right.
Especially Black folks in America. They don't believe that the government wants them to be alive. Why? You have no fucking evidence to suggest that the government wants you alive. You have all the evidence to suggest they want you dead or enslaved. And so, yeah, they don't trust the state. And they think actually, so they're seeing it from like, oh, they're trying to get us to stop meeting because they're trying to destroy our community because that's what they're always doing.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's like,
You might never thought of it that way because it was just like, yeah, this shit's spreading pretty quick.
Being in New York, we have a totally different perspective.
Yeah.
Because it's spread through the city like wildfire, and you see, you know, people die, people in the hallways of these hospitals and these COVID shelters. It's like, oh my God. So we, you know, our perspective on it is you know, different for that reason. And you know, the Hasidic Jewish community is obviously in New York, but they really like try to box it all out.
Right. Yeah, they do. So I was like, stop.
Yeah.
In your house. Please stop. But yeah, no, that would definitely be like, I don't.
Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, okay. I see you.
I don't know. Is it though?
You know, people have been preventing Jews from getting together to worship for 2,000 years.
Right. It's like,
you know,
I know this sounds bad.
So, and I think we're really seeing in this situation just how arbitrary state power really is. You know, like who is in charge here? You know, and at what point? I mean, now I'm about to like get on my communist soapbox. But at what point are these governors going to start saying to their citizens, "Fuck it, don't send federal taxes to Washington. Send it to us. Send it to the state capital because the government in Washington is fucking incompetent, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. They're incompetent and hateful."
Mm-hmm.
So don't send them your money. You know, when is Cuomo going to say, you know what? Fuck it, we're not paying our taxes anymore. We're not paying taxes to the federal government. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but
I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're there because, and I say that because I don't think that most states are yet for the people. Like, I don't think
that's definitely true.
Yeah. So I think it would have to be more of these protests, more voting these people out, more of calling for their resignations for them to be like, they're serious. Okay, cool. Great.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. So
Yeah.
which side of that are you going to be on, you know? And then, but again, that's like much.
I mean, who knows? You know, I mean, things are gonna continue. Like,
Yeah.
2020 is not over.
No, this is I honestly have never seen protests like this, you know, ever. I've never heard of, I'm not like a huge history buff or anything, but also just the way that not only the nation itself has come together with so many protests, not just in the name of George Floyd, but for their own George Floyds in their own cities, in their own states, and then have it spread to different countries.
Yeah.
And it's just like this I've never seen anything like it, and it's the first time I think I've ever had genuine hope for some significant amount of change for the future. Like, it may not be my future necessarily, but for my brother, my future children, those people, they will see something different than what I've had to grow up with and what I've seen.
Yeah.
So it's genuinely the first time. I don't think I've ever felt that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool. That's a silver lining, I guess.
Yeah. I'm hanging on to that right now, because yeah.
Got to hang on to something.
Seriously, just no. At this point, yes. But I know on the Friday after everything kicked off, it was one of those days where it's like, I'm just not, I don't feel like doing anything. I feel like for me, creativity is a privilege when, Black and brown people are out here getting murdered and all this stuff is going on, and maybe I should just not do that right now, because it may be considered disrespectful or some, it just didn't, and it's happened multiple times. It just didn't feel right to try to be light or try to be funny or try to put art out there.
Yeah.
And I had a friend call and was like, no, you of all people should be continuing to put out art, continue to write, continue to do that, because the world that we live in right now was built to tell you no, built to tell you that this is not for you. And I'm here to tell you that that is a fucking lie. Yeah. And that you being out here, being able to do this, being able to have that freedom is in itself a form of protest from you, because you have every right to do that. Mm. And so take that and run with it, because fuck them.
Yeah.
And I was like, your logic is sound. Okay.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that's been keeping me afloat really in this whole thing, because I was gonna stop doing these interviews. I was gonna stop everything. I was just like, what's the point? Like, every time you try to feel good, some shit comes down. And then she was like, no, people need this more than ever right now. So put it out there, goddamn. And I was like, all right. Okay. Sorry. So here we are. Seriously, that's true.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and I would totally affirm everything that person said. It is an act of protest. In this culture that tells you no all the time and tries to put you down and tries to keep you contained.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
It's my message.
Yeah, that's right. Suck on it.
That one. Flaccid middle finger.
Can't. Oh yeah.
Ew.
That's nice.
And we've come full circle.
Yeah, back to the penises.
All right, So, any last words, anything that you would like to promote that's going on, or any links at all that you would like me to put underneath so people to go check out? You had mentioned some place earlier.
Let's see. I mean, it's funny. Half of me is saying my website, frankpagliaro.com, and the other half of me is saying the website for the Brooklyn Bail Fund.
Hey, you know what? Put them both. We're gonna do both.
Yeah, we got to get. I mean, tons and tons and tons of people in Brooklyn have been arrested, unjustly. You know, and they've been beaten up emotionally and physically, and you know, especially for me not being able to be in Brooklyn, I have found, you know, donating to the Brooklyn Bail Fund to be a concrete way that I can, you know, help people to get out of jail and back on the streets. So after you visit my website, make a donation to the Brooklyn Bail Fund.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, thank you for letting me catch up with you.
It's great. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. This was awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. See you next time.
Okay. All right. Bye, Amber.